Off our year, it would be fitting to start off at the top with the man who has his hand on the pulse of the city, Mayor Brian Bigger. Brian is a Sudbury-born man who is a graduate of Laurentian University. Now, I didn't check with you, Brian. Did you do a postgrad someplace?
No, I got my honors Bachelor of Commerce.
Honors Bachelor of Commerce, and then forward to your CA. Thank you for that. His philosophy is one of openness, transparency, and accountability. We have seen this firsthand in his role as Auditor General. No doubt that provided Brian with valuable experience and insights to bring to the position of mayor, where he oversees a corporation of 3,500 people and a budget of over $500 million. I wouldn't want to be balancing that checkbook. In his first 6 months, he has made numerous connections in industry, education, healthcare, and also at the grassroots level as he is today here with us. Brian is here today to address a few seniors issues, and without further ado, I invite you to respectfully welcome our new mayor, Brian Bigger.
Well, thank you very much, Brenda. Thank you for inviting me to come out and speak with you today. It's my pleasure to be here today. And I'd also like to thank Hugh Cruzel, who I think has I just caught part of the speech where he mentioned I met him at Labor Day and we talked, 3 hours. Hugh can talk, so that's okay. I'd like to let you know that both my wife and I are members of CARP. So, not that I've gone to all of your meetings, but I'm looking forward to future meetings and staying informed on all of those issues. So, that's important for me. It's also something that I've been doing as mayor, as learning and being the mayor just for 10 months. Is acknowledging that we are within the community of Sudbury, that we are actually on the territorial lands, traditional lands of the Anishinaabe First Nation. And it's interesting that we have such a history around our community, and I'm learning more about this. So just generally acknowledge that we have a very interesting history that I'm interested in learning more about. I can also start by telling you that I'm very proud of CARP and in our seniors community. You're all very engaged. The turnout here is fantastic. I understood that you had to bring a few extra chairs in, so I hope the number of people that come to these events continues to grow. Because it's very important that as an elected official that I hear what your concerns and your opportunities that you see for our community are, and I appreciate how engaged many of you are within the community. Seniors in our community represent a significant amount of our population. Across the entire city, it's between 15 and 20%. I was just at a town hall meeting in Coniston last evening. It was 25% in that community. So, the numbers are growing and will continue to grow of people in the seniors and also likely CARP members. I attend many community events and I see a lot of you are volunteering at many of these events. CARP is certainly well represented at a number of community events. I get to speak to members from your organization at these events, like the one when I went and spent some time with Hugh Cruzel, and that allows me to gain some valuable knowledge about the issues facing seniors in our community. The city of Greater Sudbury knows how important seniors are to our community. In fact, we've been working hard to ensure that your voices are heard and the issues are dealt with. We do that because council and I know a senior-friendly city is a healthy city. A city that listens to its citizens and brings residents of all ages together to meet the needs of the community and resolve issues within our community. In Greater Sudbury, through our Seniors Advisory Panel, we work to promote, maintain, and enhance seniors' quality of life in the city of Greater Sudbury through consultation, education, advice, and advocacy. And I just realized that Councillor Reynolds is in the audience, so I'd just like to acknowledge that she's here. I generally like to acknowledge the councillors when they show up at these events where I'm speaking. So thank you for coming. Our advisory panel also assists in advising myself and City's Council on seniors issues and promotes the development of a continuum of services for seniors to do things like addressing the needs of an aging population through research, consultation, and providing advice on policy development. And this is their mandate. And ensuring that you, as seniors, are actively involved in planning at the community level. You know best what you want, and as a partner, we want to work with you to do that. And I know that you, through your leadership at CARP, are working on some very important projects. For example, I want to see better transit. You want to see better transit. It's no secret, we need to improve our transit services. We need to be innovative and find creative ways to do that. In fact, I've been working with city staff to identify the challenges regarding our transit system for quite some time now as Auditor General and now as Mayor. And we are looking for opportunities to address them accordingly. I'm glad that our transit fleet, and very proud to share with you that our transit fleet is 100% fully accessible. All of our conventional buses in our transit system are set up so that they can, people with wheelchairs or challenges in walking can get onto these buses. And that's beyond the handy transit buses. All of the conventional buses are set up as accessible buses. So they'll accommodate wheelchairs, walkers, or scooters. Some of you might be aware that I brought a pilot project forward. I believe it was a survey through Friendly to Seniors, and there was a survey that was indicating that seniors were very interested in options or opportunities to provide free transit for seniors. And so it's something that I did bring forward to council. When I brought it forward to council, some councillors identified challenges associated with that proposal. In fact, they were in favor of expanding it and saying that perhaps that program should be greatly expanded. And so it's something that we've sent back to staff to review and come back with a report to us on how that can be an even larger pilot project. And that'll come back sometime in this fall. I know many of you would like to be active in your own way. If you enjoy visiting our trail systems, I was just at a celebration where the Trans-Canada Trail through Sudbury was completed. The Trans-Canada Trail is 117 kilometers through our community, and we're one of the first communities in Northern Ontario to complete our section of the Trans-Canada Trail. There was a national goal to complete the entire Trans-Canada Trail system by 2018, so we're well ahead of their schedules. And we've been recognized for that. While I was at that event, I also found out, something, I learn things every day. And one of the things I found out was with our trails in the conservation area out by Laurentian University, we have 2,400 acres of conservation land and over 60 kilometers of trails within that conservation land in between Laurentian University and the bypass. So there's lots of opportunity to get out and see the beautiful landscape in our environment within Sudbury and staying active. So I always like exploring on trails, whether it's by bike or walking or hiking. We have a number of cycling paths throughout the city, complements of Rainbow Routes, and the city has provided close to $1 million over the last 10 years to aid in Rainbow Routes completing the connections of trails within our communities and connecting our communities. Recently, in our 2015 budget, City Council provided $160,000 to ensure that the trails would be interconnected and maintained and continue to be a safe mode of transportation for all people who want to use those trails. I was very pleased that dollars have been allocated for the next 4 years that will greatly improve in the cycling infrastructure within the city. One of the projects would be for bike lanes on Kelly Lake Road from Southview, connecting through to the bike path to Coppercliff. And that section might be one of the first projects coming from that money, from that funding. I was also pleased to see in the CARP Spring Survey of 2015 that 93% of you noted that you take regular walks and 45% take regular bike rides. So, that's part of the reason why I'm talking about the trails and getting out and staying active, getting out and exploring in around our city. I'd also like to note that the Sustainable Mobility Advisory Panel is meeting this evening at 7 p.m. in meeting room C11 at Tom Davies Square. This panel will assist council and city staff in implementing a vision for a holistic approach to a multimodal transportation system, meaning all of the different bus systems that we have, cycling infrastructure, what have you, and where citizens can walk, cycle, and use public transit efficiently and safely. I encourage anyone who's interested in finding out more about this work and the work that this panel is doing to attend tonight's meeting. Ensuring that we have a healthy community means that residents get out and explore what is happening in Sudbury. It's vital that events in our community are communicated, that they're accessible, affordable, diverse, and foster the values of our community. This will strengthen relationships and knowledge, promote fun together, and enrich lives. That's the plan. I know another important topic to everyone in this room is affordable housing. The City of Greater Sudbury, through Housing Services, provides funding and program assistance so that 19 nonprofit housing providers can offer 844 units dedicated to seniors across our community. We've also formed a strong partnership with the federal and provincial governments through the Affordable Housing Program. As a result, we've developed 4 new seniors housing projects offering 201 units for seniors. And this program targets seniors with low to moderate income and lower market rents. And some of these seniors housing projects do also offer assisted living services. Seniors can also apply to mixed use projects, families, singles, seniors, within the local nonprofit housing portfolio. Seniors can apply for either rent geared to income units or units rented at market rent through our city's housing registry. I'm excited to say that there's a potential for another housing project targeting seniors to be offered in 2017. So we're currently working with the provincial and federal government to receive more funding and move ahead with these seniors housing projects. In addition to that funding, our statistics show that many seniors in our community continue to own their own homes and apartments. To ensure that you can continue to afford and live in your homes, Council and I will continue to operate a balanced budget and keep municipal taxes affordable. And so that, obviously, the goal is so that you can keep your hard-earned money and stay in your home as long as possible. I have a goal also to ensure that our streets, our sidewalks, our paths are well maintained And I really also see opportunities to improve our pedestrian crosswalks across our city and make sure that we're dealing with them consistently across the city. Those are very important. Slowing as people slow in their cross, the time they need to cross a street, it's more important that all drivers understand how to react to pedestrian crossings, and I've seen some inconsistencies in how they're handled across the city. So that's not a good situation. I'd like to see that improve. Having access to healthcare professionals and healthcare services is necessary for a healthy community, obviously, and I know this is an important topic for CARP and for seniors across our city. The City of Greater Sudbury continues to be successful at recruiting family physicians to our community. Since 2008, 67 family physicians were recruited through the Primary Healthcare Provider Recruitment and Retention Program, with 51 already practicing in the community, with an additional 16 still set to start over the next couple of years. So that's really good news. And once all begin practice, they will care for approximately 93,000 citizens within our community. In addition to the ongoing success we're having in recruiting physicians to our community, the Northern Ontario School of Medicine is celebrating their 10th year with plans to grow. This means that more physicians will be training in our community and involved in residency in the North. In fact, there's been news about the number of residency positions, and the news for Sudbury is very positive. 5 new additional residency positions were just announced in the North by the Ministry of Long-Term Health under the Northern Ontario School of Medicine. And so that will allow graduating physicians to stay in our community and provide those services in the future. The City Health Sciences North and the Northern Ontario School of Medicine are strong partners, and we will continue to push to retain more doctors in our city. That's something that is clearly on my radar. I reviewed the CARP survey results done in the spring this year and saw that 97% of members reported having a family doctor, and that's a positive sign. So I think it's important that we have family doctors available, and 97% is an excellent number. We're also looking at being more efficient as a council and looking at ways to do things like redevelopment of the downtown. As seniors, many of you have been members of our community for the majority of your lives and have seen the city undergo many significant changes, from our environmental land reclamation and regreening, new developments, and many diverse cultures coming to our city. It's time we bring change to our downtown. I believe that the majority on council also feel the same. You've done a good job in electing your council. And our downtown master plan is a comprehensive plan for the future of our city. It's nice to have plans. The key is implementing them. So that's also something that is very much on my radar, to implement a number of these plans that have been developed over the years with much consultation with the public, and as the speech in introducing me, and I'm sure you're all aware, I am very interested in openness and transparency and having discussions with people in the public as we move these projects forward. Make sure that you're aware of what's coming down the line. Revitalizing downtown will allow us to create a positive image for our city. It'll support a strong tax base for our city. It'll act as an incubator for new business growth and jobs. It'll protect our property values in surrounding neighborhoods, and it'll allow growth to occur in an efficient and sustainable way. It'll also act as a central hub in our city for conferences, entertainment, dining, shopping. Those are the options for us at this point in time. I think most people will agree that a healthy, active, successful downtown makes a positive statement about the overall prosperity of our city, it is really people's first impression and a mirror to our community. Essentially, I'd like to conclude by thanking today's organizers and you as participants for your shared dedication in making our city, the city of Greater Sudbury, a world-class city to live, work, play, and retire. I'll say that this week the CAO, firmly committed that staff will find $6 million in savings. And as we move in the fall towards our 2016 budget, and I can just like to thank you again for having me here to speak to you today, and I look forward to answering questions. And I'll end by saying merci in English.
Brian, how do you want to proceed with this? Just people raise their hands?
Yeah, sure.
So
you want to kind of coordinate that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try to direct. We have one up right away,
Okay.
and I mean, you see how transparent he is.
Okay,
Very transparent. He's going to answer them, and if he doesn't have an answer now, I can guarantee he'll take your name, or he'll take the name, and they'll get back to you. They've done it. They do it. Right? Would you go ahead? What's your question?
It's not exactly a
Well, I'll try and repeat that.
It's also help with information. I'm very happy, and I would like to promote an idea dialogue with the different charities and sponsors. I talked to John Lindsay about it. For low income, not benefit seniors, although it would be nice to include everybody. But I've discovered for Knights of Columbus and other organizations that they have to donate to a registered charity. Is there anywhere, any organization that can help seniors pay for their glasses and new lenses and teeth, which run into hundreds of dollars for glasses, and be over $1,000 for teeth, and often they can't afford it, they don't do it. I've thought of writing letters to the newspaper. I've talked to private people and organizations, such as Sudbury Coalition Against Poverty, but I haven't been able to go forward with this myself. But anyway, I'd like to raise
It might take a committee, and Mary's asking for a coordinated approach to things that we need as we age, which includes hearing aids and glasses, teeth, yes, we all need teeth.
And I was told by a friend at Knights of Columbus, if I was married to a member, that
They could
do
help.
that.
So there are a number of routes, and we'll get Brian. Now, we have to remember too that there's so many things, don't mind me saying this, that are federal, provincial, municipal, and he can talk to people. He can make things happen, I know he can. But he can't make everything happen. So, very good, Brian.
Well, just very, very simply, I'm not aware of a group, but I think, working with CARP and other seniors groups too, I'm sure there's a strong interest. My parents, are looking at hearing aids and the cost of hearing aids, and so I understand the cost. So I think it's a great idea. And perhaps I'll continue the conversation with you, and we'll figure out what kind of committee we would have to put together to do that. It's important to take care of everybody. Low income, especially, are challenged with this cost.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a great question. Let's put the hands up and see.
Thank you.
Could yes, thank you. Well, if you wouldn't mind standing up, and I'll try and make sure that everybody. That's a great question. That is a great question. So the idea is that as people's driveways enter the roadway, the sidewalk does this little thing, and then in the wintertime, if it's potential. Maybe something for the future.
Well, it's now that one's a difficult one to speak to without knowing a specific instance and whether it follows our standards. I know that from my audit days that we do have design standards for sidewalks, entering into people's driveways, and the intention of the design is that it wouldn't cause you to go off balance or to curve away if you're, let's say if you're on a wheelchair. So I think it's somewhere around a 2.5 degree slant. So that's not very much. So we do have design standards, and yet I'm sure there are places within the city where perhaps they've been built many years ago. Any new construction would definitely be following those standards.
It does encourage people to walk on the road, doesn't it? From time to time.
Is there a specific street that is Neil Boulevard? Okay, we'll take a note of that.
I will tell you that I've taken pictures. Now, how many of you have cell phones? Quite a few of us. How many of you use the camera feature? Quite a few of us. You know what? Take a picture of something you don't like and send them a photo. Because I've done it. One of the things that I found, there was a pipe coming out of the ground in the middle of us. Your phone's ringing. There was a pipe coming out of the ground, and every year, as the freeze-thaw cycle happened, that pipe would emerge from the ground a little higher, and it created a walking hazard. And I think maybe you got it. I'm not sure if I sent it to you. And I said, hey, this has got to be dealt with. And within like hours, there was a message back saying, hey, thank you for telling me about that.
Now, just to that point, if you see things that you believe should be fixed or corrected, I have a really hard time personally responding to an email from each and every one of you every day. So we're set up for this. And so if you have a photo, I believe there's an email address, and it's 311@greatersudbury.ca. And so if you were able to send an email with your concern, now you've got a record of that concern, the date and the time you provided it to the city, and we have a process to now redirect that to the staff that are responsible for, let's say, construction of sidewalks and roads. Okay, so you can either call 311 and just dial 311, and you will get an operator at the city that will record any concern, or if you have good things to say about staff, it's also a good place to call. Tell us how great we're doing. But the number is 311, and the email address would be 311@greatersudbury.ca. And to make sure I get it right, I will give you that email, so perhaps you can
put
that in your minutes.
And I must say, this is also important for all of us. It's easy to share our gripes and easy for us to say there's something wrong, something needs to be done about this. But you know what? We should also be saying, hey, you know what? That was a great job. I saw somebody from the city doing this, or thank you for coming out to send them a message saying, thanks for coming here today. We'll all send them a message, right? We get the other questions. Let's see what's out there. Yes, if you could stand up. That's an excellent question. The question is about the convention center idea.
Okay. So the convention center idea is something that is being asked about, and I believe that project you're referring to is called the Synergy Center. That's the name. Yes. Okay. So that's the name that this interested group was proposing to the city. It was in the newspaper during the summer. We have so many engaged citizens and developers and companies who would love for us to have a new OHL hockey arena / entertainment center, a convention center, an art gallery, a new library. the list goes on and on and on. So what I'm planning on doing is having something. I don't know if you've ever watched TV and they have something called Dragon's Den. Okay, so rather than just having one group come and make a presentation to council, and then they get all promoted up in the newspaper, and everybody goes this way and says, that's great. And then we have a presentation, let's say the following council meeting, and everybody says, oh yeah, but look at this one. I want them all presenting in the same day with a format where they're answering some really clear questions that we have. As in,